Hello, nerds, one more time, and for the last time, we are doing the Pacathon tournament. So we've been training up our neural networks now, and we've figured out how to modify them, we figured out how to save them and restart them, but we haven't actually learned how to submit. We've now spent hours making our best possible neural network, and I'm ready to win my money now, but what do we do? So, if we look at assets and saves, just like before, and we look at our most recent training set, because I imagine you're going to submit your most recent one, but you should probably be saving whichever one you want. We can look at whichever best calculator we want to submit. In my case, it's probably going to be the most recent one with the highest generation, but it might be different for you. You should try and play around with it. In this case, we have best calculator 56. Okay, so 56 is the number to remember. This will be on the quiz. And how do we actually do the tournament? Well, I actually gave you the tournament testing code if you remember, and we can go into the LWJGL file and switch up to tournament mode. So if we go over to the launcher, just like before, we can actually set isTraining to false. This is probably going to be true for you. I forgot to set it back to true, forgive me, because you've been training for a while, but now we can set it back to false to play tournament mode. And if you'll remember from the first video, if we just run this code, right, if we run the LWJGL3 run, we're going to see just the Pacman, but only one of them. And we're not going to be training anymore. We're just going to be doing inference. Or in this case, since we haven't specified any file, we're just going to be playing Pacman. So right now, I'm actually using my fingers to press keys to play Pacman, which isn't really going to work in the tournament. So instead of playing Pacman, we should figure out a way to load our behavior. And if we look at the run, if we look at the terminal, we'll see that we actually had an error, could not find the file. So I have some code set up for you. If we go over to the core and then source code, if we go into the tournament class down here at the bottom, we actually have one method that's super important. Once again, just like all the other files, you can collapse everything else. It's only this one setup behavior method that's important for you. And we see this very familiar code here. We want to switch to October 1-3, because if we look over at our saves, let me go over here, saves, we have October 1-3, and let's just say I forgot. We know, because we remembered, that best calculator 56 is the one we really want. But let's say I forgot and said 57. Once again, you're going to see an error pop up in console. So let's watch it. We of course have to let the whole program compile and whatnot. But once that's done, we're going to see an error pop up. Could not find the file. So if you see this error, that means you typed in the file wrong. And I'm going to try one more time with 56. Alright, so let me run this again, and hopefully we'll see something work, but maybe not, because if we let this run, oh no, what happened? This actually makes sense, because we have a neural network with 5 main inputs and a bias, the 4 directions, right, and a random number. How am I supposed to know this? I'm judging you on the tournament, right? But I don't know where this information came from. So you have to put information into the neural network in the exact format that you want it in. So where do you do this? Well, if we close out of these files and hop on over to the behaviors again, so I'm just going to hop over to core, source code, entity, behavior, and just like before, we have our neat Pacman behavior. This is where we've been putting in information for training, but we also need to open up this tournament behavior. And this tournament behavior doesn't work off of a big list of clients. It works off of one singular neural network. And we need to put in the inputs. You'll see we have these to-do statements here, and we need to complete them. All right, so how do we do this? It's actually super easy. All we have to do is go over to our behavior we've been working on, and we need to copy-paste our important code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste all of our directional stuff and all of our other input node stuff. I'm going to hop over to our tournament behavior and paste. Okay, we have all this data, but now we need to put it into our inputs list. The order is extremely important, because remember, you've been training off of one set order. So we need to go into our meet Pacman behavior and copy paste our inputs in the exact order we had them. Okay, and now that's it. We've put in all of the inputs in the exact format. If you changed your outputs, so instead of having 4 outputs, you maybe have 8. Honestly, I can't think of a reason why you would do it, but if you did, you should also copy-paste your output code here and just return your desired direction. But that's only, if you made those modifications. For now, let's just try this out. Hopefully what we'll see this time is I can just maximize the window, and then I can take my hands away. And we'll see Pacman be playing automatically. So we maximize this window, and my hands are up, as you can see, and our neural network is learning. Or it's not learning, per se, it's already learned. It's now just applying that knowledge. And this is what we're going to submit to the tournament. But it's still on my computer, right? We're not going to go through one at a time. How do we actually make a submission? Alright, so this is super important. I'm going to close out of this window. And now we're going to run some terminal commands. So you should open up a terminal. And we're going to add all of our files. So we're going to run git add dot. And if we run git status, you'll see that this adds all of our files that we've been playing with, right? Our tournament stuff and all of our other stuff. The other stuff is optional. We just need the tournament stuff, but to make things simpler. And now we can create a commit. Now this commit will be for your team, adding stuff to the repository. So in your case, this will be your team name, maybe? It doesn't really matter, but I'll just say team Colin, because my name is Colin, and I'll say complete. Or maybe completed submission. I don't know. The name isn't important. Alright, so now I've made this commit. I can run git push. And this will push to the remote repository that we forked originally. Okay. This is so close. We're almost there. If we go back to our repository, right, for me it's going to be github.com/cjcrafter/Pacathon. You can see that we're now one commit ahead of our forked main branch. And you can see that I pushed all my Team Colin completed submission code. So what we're going to do from here is press the contribute button. So the contribute button will prompt you to open a pull request. And you'll see the pull request will have a sort of completed format for you. I'm going to change the title to just Team Colin. And we have to go through and put in all this data. So for me, team name is, again, just Team Colin. Who is on your team? For me, it's, well, Colin. In this case, we should specify last name, because this is the information we'll use to distribute prizes. My email is nerd, and I'm going to put in a jarble of numbers here, just so I don't have to type everything out. And my GitHub account is CJCrafter. And I don't have any other team names or teammates for this example, but you can put in your teammates here. And here we have asked the question, how does your Pacman work? This is just something cool, what we did. So I'm going to say that we just took the base example, then added a random number. You should probably go a little bit into depth, maybe do some bullet points, talk about the algorithms you used, and really talk about it. And then there's one last thing here, there's the checklist. So I have included my model's weights, the JSON file, in my commit. Did we do that? Did we do that? Think. I don't know if we did, because if we scroll down, where's our JSON file? Uh-oh. So what we have to do is specifically add that file. What we can do is run git add, and for us it's going to be assets, saves, October 21-3, and then what do we call it? Best calculator? Let's double check it. So we go into Assets, Saves, 21-3, and we have Best Calculator 56. So Best Calculator 56.json. And you'll see that this is an error message you'll see because we're trying to git ignore it. This is so you don't accidentally commit like 10 gigabytes worth of information to the repository. What we need to do is add -f. And now if we check status, you'll see that we've actually added our model weights. And it's the same model weight that we've configured for our tournament behavior. And now we can create a new commit, say added model weights, and we can git push. Okay, so now if we go back to our pull request, we'll see if I'm just going to copy this real quick so we don't accidentally lose any data, and I refresh. We're going to see 2 commits, and we now have all the model weights. Okay, so that first thing, we're checked, we're done, we've included the model weights. I have configured the tournament behavior to use those weights. If you'll remember, we were in the tournament behavior class, adding in and copy-pasting our information. I've copied over any code needed to run my model. Of course, all done, because that was included in the tournament behavior. I've tested the tournament at least once. Of course we did, because we ran it once to check that we actually had the Pacman moving around the maze. And I have not intentionally modified the game state in any way. This is just kind of, I'm not cheating. If you're cheating accidentally, I'll know the difference. Trust. So if you accidentally submit something, I'm going to be going through your pull request, checking all your code. So I'll talk to you if there's any issues, and if there's very obvious issues, we'll get there. But I suspect there won't be an issue. All right. So now that we've done all of this, we can just quick preview the information. You see that we have team name Colin with our teammates. We've talked about how our Pacman works, and we have our checklist. Since that's all done, we need to make sure that this allow edits by maintainer is still checked, just in case I need to make any changes. And then I can create the pull request. And now you can see on the pull requests tab of the main repository, we have the submission. And I'll use this submission to actually demonstrate your Pacman to the whole event and to award you prizes. So I hope this process has been not too confusing, and hopefully will let you learn to use a couple tools like Git and some machine learning stuff. And I can't wait to see what you all do. I'm super excited. I hope you all get a chance to win some money.